This didn't make any sense to her. How did a melody that she had locked down over the summer, last summer, suddenly appear on Jennifer Lopez's album? This was something that really bothered her.
Welcome back to Hollywood Pulse. Big love to everyone who's been rocking with us. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button so you never miss the heat we drop. You've probably heard the whispers. Beyoncé and J.Lo didn't just rise to the top, they strategically stepped over someone to get there. But did they actually snatch the career that was meant to be Mariah Carey's? Not by accident, not by timing, but on purpose, allegedly. And get this tea might be coming straight from Mariah herself, allegedly, of course. So buckle up, because things are about to get real messy. Let's be honest, back in the 90s, Mariah wasn't just winning. She was the game, chart-topping hits. She wrote them, platinum albums, she produced them, that glamorous, mysterious, genre-crossing image, all hers, and fully in her control. And here's the kicker. She was doing all that in an industry that hated giving that kind of power to women, especially women of color. Mariah was out here building the blueprint before anyone else even had a pen in hand. Period. And if you rewind the tapes, you'll find Beyoncé praising Mariah like she was heaven-sent, calling her the sun, the moon, and the holy falsetto.
Mariah Carey's voice comes from God. You can hear the gospel in her voice. It's very nice to see her in the church. The whole message in the video was just Vision of Love was one of the first songs I heard when I was a kid, where I heard all of these riffs, and I was like, how does she do that? In this little short amount of times, the amount of notes she could squeeze in that one little bar, 2 bars, was fascinating to me. And that's kind of when I started trying it. And it's something that I love to do in my music, but she completely inspired me.
The girl was in awe. Facts. So what changed? When did admiration turn into imitation? Beyoncé didn't just admire Mariah. She literally called her the reason she started singing. Yup, not Whitney, not Aretha. It was Mariah, the blueprint, the original vocal beast. And it wasn't just in passing. She gave Vision of Love full credit for sparking her passion for music. That was the song that lit the fire. And if you dig through the archives, oh, it's all there. Young Bey practically glowing whenever she talks about Mariah. Interviews, award shows. She was fangirling hard. You could see it in her eyes. She saw Mariah as untouchable. She even once said, Mariah Carey's voice comes from God. That's real. But here's where it gets shady. Somewhere along the line, the praise just stopped. Cold. No more shout-outs, no more admiration. People started saying Beyoncé felt like she had surpassed Mariah, like she didn't need to give props anymore. And let's talk facts. As much as Mariah's legacy is iconic, the industry never gave her the same critical flowers they throw at legends like Michael Jackson or Prince. Even though she's the queen of vocals, the media always tries to box her in. Glitter, heels, diva antics, and that December comeback every year. Meanwhile, Beyoncé's out here crafting her legacy like she's the female MJ or trying to channel that Prince mystique. So did she leave Mariah behind or erase her on purpose? We're talking about someone who redefined the game, visually, sonically, and culturally. If that's the path Beyoncé's claiming now, maybe she sees Mariah as a piece that no longer fits the narrative she's building. That's what a lot of folks are saying. But here's the twist. Beyoncé's rise to the top wasn't just about raw talent or stage presence. People have been whispering for years that Beyoncé might have indirectly stolen Mariah's career. Not by herself, but with some serious help from behind-the-scenes power, allegedly including her husband, Jay-Z. See, the industry isn't always about who's the most gifted. It's about who plays the game and who's got the right connections. And guess what? Those willing to kiss up and follow orders usually get the fast track, while real talents like Mariah left hanging. And now let's talk about Jennifer Lopez, because it wasn't just Beyoncé rising during this time. J.Lo burst onto the scene too. Gorgeous? No doubt. Talented? Of course. But vocally? Come on, she's not touching Mariah. Not even close. Yet somehow, J.Lo was crowned a global superstar overnight, with movie deals, fashion lines, fragrances, and even a Super Bowl halftime show. Meanwhile, Mariah, she was getting sidelined. Now we're not saying Beyoncé and J.Lo plotted together to shut Mariah down, but the timeline is very telling. Remember when Mariah was filming Glitter? She secured that iconic firecracker sample from Yellow Magic Orchestra for her track Loverboy. But out of nowhere, boom, J.Lo drops a track using the exact same sample, before Mariah could even release hers, and even she was shocked by how fast that move happened. Imagine working on your album, locking down a fire sample for your lead single, and then bam! You hear that exact melody show up on somebody else's track. And not just anybody. It was Jennifer Lopez. Yeah, J.Lo already had some buzz from In Living Color, but let's be real, her voice wasn't built for the charts, and Broadway, that door stayed shut too. No vocals, no range, no Oscar-level acting. Then enters Tommy Mottola, Mariah's husband at the time, but the marriage? Already sinking. She wanted out of the relationship and her Sony contract, but Tommy wasn't about to let her walk away clean. Nah, he had other plans. To mess with her career, Tommy allegedly handed Mariah's track, Loverboy, to J.Lo. That's right, he took the version Mariah recorded, tossed it aside, and gave the sample to J.Lo instead. Dirty move. And J.Lo, she played along just fine. Mariah wasn't fooled. In her memoir, The Meaning of Mariah Carey, she called it out clear as day. She said the downfall of Glitter traced right back to Tommy. He was bitter, controlling, and determined to keep her from winning after she left him. And left Sony. Mariah said, "There was no way he would allow me to have a huge success after leaving him and Sony." And when she heard that same sample being rushed out for another female artist on the label, she knew it was a setup. And the wildest part? In classic Mariah shade, she wrote, "I don't know her. Still one of the coldest lines ever." And we know exactly who she meant. Who could ever forget that moment? Mariah was asked to share her thoughts on other female singers in the game. She showed love to Beyoncé, called her sweet and a talented songwriter. But when they brought up Jennifer Lopez, Mariah hit him with the most legendary line in pop history. "I don't know her." Iconic. Straight cold. And the way she said it? Effortless. Then came that 2002 Larry King Live interview. Larry tried to dig a little deeper, asking if there was tension between her and J.Lo. And Mariah? She didn't hold back. There's no competition. If the other person can't sing.
There are rivalries, but I don't think she has anything to do with me. I mean, my whole thing is singing, writing
She's
songs.
an actress.
Yeah, and I've been doing this, my whole life. Singing is first and foremost. It's a God-given talent that I'm grateful for. Her thing is something different.
And she didn't stop there. When rumors started swirling that J.Lo doesn't actually sing her own songs, Mariah threw even more shade, but with style. In a Talk magazine article, Mariah mentioned she barely got 3 hours of sleep a night. So when J.Lo claimed she slept 8 hours, Mariah clapped back, "If I had the luxury of not having to sing my own songs, darling, I'd do that too, honey." Let's be clear. Mariah wasn't just talking out of nowhere. That whole J.Lo can't sing conversation has been around for years. And it wasn't just shade. People in the industry have talked. Take the track I'm Real, dropped in 2001 off J.Lo's second album. But guess what? Ashanti later revealed that song was supposed to be hers. She said she was shocked when she found out Irv Gotti, who had signed her to Murder Inc., handed that track right over to J.Lo instead. Here's the kicker. The I'm Real track was already recorded and fully mixed with Ashanti's vocals. But allegedly, J.Lo couldn't deliver vocally, so they left Ashanti's background vocals in the final version. That's why, if you listen close, you still hear Ashanti all over that track. And get this, I'm Real was originally meant for Mariah. Then it got passed to Ashanti. And then Tommy Mottola told Irv Gotti to hand it to J.Lo. Just to spite Mariah. Yes, Irv is on record confirming that. It's like they knew Ashanti wasn't going to play dirty and sabotage Mariah, so they pulled in J.Lo instead, who clearly didn't mind stepping into some drama. But that ain't all. I'm Real isn't the only song tied to this mess. Ashanti also wrote, sang, and laid the ad-libs for another J.Lo hit. Ain't It Funny? All J.Lo had to do was show up and lay the bare minimum vocals, and she got all the glory. Meanwhile, Ashanti, no credit. And let's not forget about What's Love? Yup, even that track was nearly snatched from Ashanti. Fat Joe spilled that tea himself. He said Irv Gotti and Ja Rule called him at like 3 a.m., hyped up saying, "We got this song for you and J.Lo. This one's for the Latinos." But that track? It was already meant for Ashanti. And the wild part? J.Lo knew that, but she was still ready to take it like it was hers. Years later, Ashanti finally spoke up. In an interview with Metro UK, she admitted how unfair the industry had been. And she said it loud, "You should always care about credit for what you do, regardless of what industry you're in." 2 decades of silence, But now the truth's out. Ashanti was writing, singing, and building the hits, while someone else just walked in and cashed the check. Giving credit where it's due? That matters now more than ever, especially in an industry built on smoke, mirrors, and silence. Ashanti said it herself. It was frustrating watching people like J.Lo use her vocals, take her work, and leave her name off the credits. She kept quiet for years, but now the truth is out, and it's shocking people. She opened up in that same interview saying it was weird, because while it hurt not getting proper recognition, eventually people started admiring her for the same reason, being the silent powerhouse behind some of the biggest hits. And remember, Ashanti's just one name on a long list, because let's not play, there are many artists, especially Black women, who J.Lo allegedly benefited from without giving them the respect they deserved. And Beyoncé? Her name's been in those quiet convos too. But here's where it gets real. The streets are talking, and it sounds like Mariah Carey might finally be ready to spill everything. Word is, she's been working on something. Maybe a part 2 to her memoir, maybe a tell-all documentary, or maybe she's just waiting for the perfect moment to shut it all down with the truth. If this drops, it could flip the entire industry narrative. Was J.Lo really used to sabotage Mariah during the glitter era? Did Beyoncé coldly cut ties once Mariah didn't match her image anymore? Or was the industry just done with someone who was too raw, too emotional, too real to be controlled? One thing's for sure, if Mariah talks, it's gonna get messy, and I'm here for it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.